Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be breaking down and reviewing the ninth game in the Spyro franchise, Spyro: A Hero's Tale. This game was created in 2004 and was developed by Eurocom Entertainment and published by Vivendi Universal Games. This was the second installment for the PS2 and GameCube and the first installment of Spyro on the Xbox. This is a sequel to Spyro: Enter the Dragonfly. The game starts off by revealing a character we haven't seen since the first Spyro game, Nasty Nork. He has been brought back to life and returned with his Nork minions. He planted dark gems all throughout the realms, but he wasn't alone this time. He appears to be working with a red dragon. He then puts a barrier over Nasty Nork before flying away. The professor who saw everything called in Spyro and Sparks and enlists him to help defeat Red. He lets us know we need to destroy the dark gems and learn more about Red. Before he could properly send us off, Spyro is already long gone. We start the game off in Dragon Village, and we are directed to go find Moneybags, who as always is just absolutely thrilled to see us. He lets us know we need to find 500 gems just to come shop with him. Luckily, you don't have to go real far to find that. Inside, you are able to buy a lockpick to allow yourself into the chest and through the locked door. We then run into Ember, who, correct me if I'm wrong, is a first-time character in this series. She alerts us about the dark gems and to go find the Dragon Elder to figure out how to smash it. After running around some more, you find Elder Thomas, who teaches us how to use the horn dive to destroy the dark gems. There's a dark gem right next to him that you can smash. We then run into Hunter, who at this point is just a run, jump, and glide tutorial king. He lets us know if we can return an egg, he will open the next set of doors for us. After returning the egg, he lets us through. In the next section, we see Nanny get robbed of the dragon eggs by the thieves. In the same room is a light gem waiting to be taken. After returning to buy some more lockpicks, you can now open the chest around you, one containing a dragon egg and another containing a light gem. After some more exploring, you run into Sergeant Bird, who is a playable character once again. You can complete the speedways with him. This one being the first one was pretty easy. Beating it once gives you a dragon egg, and defeating it twice rewards you with a light gem. In that same area, you can hit some targets to make the platforms come down where you can jump on them and make it to the next dark gem. Smashing this will open a way to another egg. On the other side is another light gem waiting. You can then find another egg in the water stream and a light gem on a ledge above that. This will lead you back into the professor's lab. You can return to Ember and smash the dark gem and open the route to Crockville Swamp. In the room right before the swamp is another light gem. At this point, you should have destroyed all 3 dark gems, have all 6 light gems, and 5 out of 6 eggs. We reach our second area now, Crockville Swamp. This is our first real test and has much more obstacles and enemies here. After pushing through just a bit, you can find our first dark gem. Smashing that brings new stumps you can use to get to a new part of the map. On the right on the ledge is a breakable wall. Going through there will get you the first light gem here. You can jump down here and travel through the swamp on the wooden docks to reach your first egg as well. Returning back to where we started, you can find your way to the cannon and start shooting. Shooting the top of the ruins will reveal another light gem. After progressing further down the way, there's a chest you can open which contains another egg. A little more down the path is a ruin you can enter. After entering, there's a chest on your left. This contains another egg. If you go straight through there, there's a lot of moving obstacles and enemies. Making it towards the end gives you another light gem. After leaving the ruin and following the path, you run into Blink, who is another first-time appearance in the games and is now a new playable character. You go around hunting for dark gems, finding 5 the first time for a dragon egg and 10 the next time for a light gem. I personally wasn't a huge fan of his missions, but I can't complain about the addition since it gives you a whole new style of gameplay. Right beside Blink is more wooden docks you can go across to find another light gem. If you return to the way you came, you can also find another light gem through a mystery spot in the tunnel. At this point, we push past Blink and find another dark gem. Destroying it leads us to Elder Magnus, who teaches us how the poles spin. There are poles inside his house that you can use to reach another egg. On top of his house is another light gem as well. You can now return to Blink, where there are more poles near his area. This will lead you to another route with multiple obstacles. Beyond them is another egg. Jumping out and gliding to the set above Blink will lead you directly to the next dark gem. Right after this, we meet Fredneck, who needs help running critters off his land. Completing it the first time will give you an egg, and the second time will give you a light gem. After completing those and following the trail with the lily pads, you can find a light gem on the right side. We can now return to Dragon Village. At this point, you should have found 8 dragon eggs, 9 light gems, and smashed 3 dark gems. After returning to Dragon Village, we head towards the professor's ball gadget thing and hopped into the ball and made our way to our next destination, Dragonfly Falls. After progressing through just a tiny bit, we find our first chest on a ledge. This has our first light gem in it. Just a little bit farther ahead is another breakable spot on the wall, which reveals a cave with a dark gem. Smashing it creates a route to the next dragon egg. Shortly ahead is a cannon that you can use to break a wall that leads you to another light gem. Returning to the main route will lead you to another dark gem. Destroying it spawns in a cannon you can use. Using this cannon you can destroy boulders that also spawns in another cannon that you can then use to destroy the next boulder that allows you to go get the next egg. The other side from the egg is a path that you can take to reach the next dark gem. Doing that sends in a bunch of water that you can dive into to help find the next light gem. You then find your way to Sparks, who's prepared to go through a crack to find a dragon egg and a light gem. Defeating it twice gives you both. I actually prefer this style of missions for Sparks compared to those on the Game Boy. The falling rocks in this particular one gave me a ton of trouble though before learning the mechanics. Then you keep going down the same path to find another egg. On an island hidden behind a tree is a chest with another light gem in it. Now on the other side of the water is another light gem just sitting there. We then find Hunter, who you can actually play as in this game. While using him you can find another light gem and egg. I really enjoyed using him as a character. His mechanics are super cool and the ability to use his bow and arrow is just another great addition to this game. We then can jump on a moving island that can take us to the next light gem. On the adjacent ledge is another dark gem. After this we can head back to Dragon Village. At this point you should have 5 out of 6 eggs, 8 out of 9 light gems, and all 3 dark gems. After returning to Dragon Village, we can now access the sealed off cave for a rematch with Nasty Nork. This also frees Flame, who's another first time character. Right past him is the final egg for Dragon Village. This now sets the stage for our rematch with Nasty Nork, who we haven't seen since the first Spyro game. Since it's been so long, he even forgot that he lost to Spyro. This is not a super hard boss fight. The first 2 rounds are him just jumping and sending some sort of energy wave at you that you can jump over and you start sending rocks down. The 3rd round is him sending electric shocks towards you as well. You can damage him when his weapons get stuck and he's bending over to try and get it by flaming him in the butt. After defeating him again, Amp comes out and gives Spyro the ability to use his electric breath. Using that on a machine will get you out and back to Dragon Village, where you can talk with the professor and he will send you to Lost City's realm. While Spyro is teleporting, this gives us a cutscene of Red finding out that Nasty Nork has been defeated, and gives us a glimpse of who our next boss fight is going to be. This takes us to our next location, Coastal Remains. Here we find a whole new array of enemies that we have not seen so far. Right next to this sealed boss cave, there's a route that will lead you to flying shells. Jumping on the shells will lead you to a dragon egg. The next route will lead you to Otto, who wants us to fill his pool back up. You can do this by jumping on the wheels and getting them to spin. The first one fills it up enough to try the other route. Right through here is a dark gem. Destroying it will open 2 different routes. The one on the left, you can use your newly acquired electric breath to power the shells. This will allow you to make it to the dragon egg. On the other side is another wheel that once you get spinning will give Otto more water for his pool. On the way back to Otto, you find Blink. Completing his missions once again will give you another dragon egg and light gem. His missions get easier since you already played and learned the mechanics. They do get a little trickier though. You can keep pushing forward to find another big body of water. In one of the broken towers, you can find a light gem on the bottom. Progressing through the towers, you can find another dark gem. Destroying this will give you access to sunken ruins. Now we can return to Otto. While heading over there, one of the ledges right before Otto is another light gem. Otto will also give you a light gem for helping him fill his pool back up. We then return to the main area and go through a broken shell that leads us to a new passage. This will lead us into a secret door, and since we have enough light gems, we can enter. Inside there is a thief who stole an egg, but in this game, these guys are really easy to catch. In the very back is another light gem. We then exit and continue down the path to find a makeshift kind of setup. By hitting the targets, we can now jump on the platforms on the wooden tower and attempt to make it towards the light gem. I thought this was super neat. You have to use a pole spin technique to try and make it over. Making it to the end will give you a light gem. We then can push through and use our electric breath to make the shells activate. This leads us to yet another light gem. After returning to the main passageway, we run into another dark gem. Destroying it produces another cannon, and some other land appears. You have to pole spin your way over to find the egg. I struggled with this. I could not time this at all. I eventually figured it out and never had any real issues with it throughout the game. You then can use the cannon to shoot down the strong door and then run through the breakable wall to reach another dark gem. Destroying it gives you a way back onto the ledge. If you jump and travel through the shells, you can find another egg. Right underneath you and through the cave is Turtle Mother, who needs help protecting the turtles. Doing this twice earns you an egg and a light gem. This was probably my favorite sort of mini-game mission. Thought it was really chaotic, which made it really fun. We can now head into the Cloudy Domain. At this point, we should have all 7 eggs, 8 out of 9 light gems, and all the dark gems. As soon as we arrive in Cloudy Domain, there is a chest with a light gem in it. Going straight forward and hitting the target will open the door to continue forward. Jumping on the right target will lead you to a room with a chest. Inside the chest is a dragon egg. Jumping on the left side target will lead you to a light gem. Though it's much farther than the right side's journey was. After returning to the main path, there is a dark gem right ahead of you that you can destroy. Doing so frees open a fan. Jumping on this fan leads you to a light gem. Right ahead is Elder Titan, who is going to teach us how to use our wing shield. After learning this, you can leave through the other exit as it leads you right to a dragon egg. Keep going and you can use your new wing shield ability to send those boomerangs right back at those balloon norks to find another light gem. We can now go back to the original spot and hit those targets and go through that area since we now have the wing shield ability. Going through the right side will give you a light gem. If you keep progressing, you'll find a dragon egg as well. Keep pushing through. This part here really gives me deja vu. This makes me feel like I'm on Jack and Dexter again. This whole place seems like a whole sort of precursor city kind of vibe. Going through this portion, you will find a thief with an egg. Once again, not hard to catch in this game. Go to the adjacent side and do the same thing to reach the next dark gem. This will open up a passageway to keep moving forward. You can take the whirlwind right up to Sergeant Bird. Once again, defeating the Speedway twice will give you a dragon egg and a light gem. This was probably the most confusing of the Speedways for me personally. After defeating it twice, right beside Sergeant Bird is another dark gem. Smashing this will lead you to another ball gadget minigame. This one really threw me off. Trying to time that initial jump was not fun, but I picked up how the movement works the more I tried it. Defeating it twice gave you a dragon egg and light gem. After completing it, you are taken right above the entrance of Cloudy Domain. You can jump off and head back into Coastal Remains. You should have 7 out of 8 light gems, 6 out of 8 eggs, and all the dark gems. After returning back to Coastal Remains, we can head to Sunken Ruins. Not too far into it, we find a chest with our first dragon egg. Right past this, we find our first dark gem. Smashing this opens up a whirlwind. You can jump from whirlwind to whirlwind to find another dragon egg, and right past that is a chest with a light gem. We then push forward into a room with the mermaid, but first, behind her is a chest with a light gem. After talking to a confused Lily, she tells us to follow the markers and that's the only way through the water. After making it back to the surface, we talk with the professor who grants us access to invincibility. We can then jump into the acid and go to the tower behind us. This has a light gem waiting. We then push through for another Sparks mission for a dragon egg and light gem. This one was the most annoying for sure. It took me a lot of attempts. We then come back and head down to the next area. Through the tunnel, this will lead us into an open area. You can climb up to find a chest with a dragon egg inside. You can then fly over the fish pushing out acid to find another light gem. Riding the shell will take you down to the next portion of the land. Using your invincibility once more, you can find the light gem down in the acid. You kind of have to go back and forth hitting targets that unlock more poles on each side to make it through. Doing so will take you right to the next dark gem. Smashing it will create a brand new passageway. Before going down to the passage, you can fly over to the other side to find a chest with the dragon egg inside. You then push forward into the new passageway and find a big pool of acid. You have to use the shells to hit all the targets to make the acid go down. There's a chest in here as well with a light gem. After hitting all the targets, you can then hit the dark gem. Keep pushing forward to find another chest with a light gem. At this point, you should have 5 out of 6 dragon eggs, all 8 light gems, and all the dark gems. Since we now have the required dark gems, we can now enter in Neptune's lair. We run into Neptune, who's actually puzzled, saying Spyro is much larger than what she expected. Which is comical considering Spyro is the tiniest dragon that we've seen so far. She's also a pretty easy boss to defeat in the first round. She just spits out acid at you, and it's pretty easy to dodge, and just one piece of the battlefield is removed and is used as a laser. Once again, at this point, it's not too hard to dodge. She returns and spits her acid again, and at this point, she starts looking asleep, and you can bash into her to take damage. The second round, she continues to throw and spit acid at you, which once again makes her tired. After hitting her, she takes the battlefield away again with the lasers, this time being 2. These are much harder to dodge. In the third round, it's actually the easiest in my opinion. You can just run to the back of the arena, and her acid just can't hit you. Now she sends all 3 pieces of the battlefield out as lasers. This one was pretty hard to dodge, but if you have a lot of health left, you can tank a hit or 2. After defeating her and freeing Aqua, you're given the ability to use her water breath. We then head back to Coastal Remains. You can now return to the wheel in the water. By blowing water on the wheel, it gives you access to the light gem above. This will give you all the light gems in Coastal Remains. We then head to the Professor's Teleporter to head to the Icy Wilderness realm. This takes us to another cutscene of Red learning that Spyro defeated a Neptune. This forces Red to unleash his last guardian. Alerts him to let no one pass. After this cutscene, we are teleported into Frostbite Village, where the professor tells us to head to the Ice Citadel to meet the Dragon Elder. We run into Phil in the main part of the village, who lets us know about this complex security system that he designed and that he needs help activating. You have to go through and activate all the electrical switches. After doing so, you can pass through. You then run into Peggy, who needs help clearing out the skating ring. Doing this twice will reward you with a light gem and a dragon egg. Once again, one of my favorite missions due to the chaotic nature of it. We then push forward and use our water breath on a wheel. This activates one of the wooden obstacles to move forward where we can access the ledge. By horn diving on the target above, it will open the gates to the light gem. Right underneath this is a dark gem. By smashing it, you're given a new route to go through. After jumping down and invading all the TNT Eskimos, you can grab another dragon egg. After progressing a little bit farther down, we find another dark gem, which opens up another route right to Blink, who, like the previous times, will give you a dragon egg and a light gem. You can then find a thief and get back the stolen dragon egg, and a little bit past that is another light gem waiting for you. After progressing further, we hit another cutscene, this time with Mammoth. And while like previous cutscenes, you think this is going to lead to an early boss fight, Spyro is just quickly defeated and caught. Luckily, Sparks gets away and finds Hunter. At this point, you should have 4 out of 7 dragon eggs and 5 out of 9 light gems. We then reach Gloomy Glacier with Hunter. We are quickly met by an old friend in Bentley who asks if we can go clear out some of the not so nice Yetis out of his house. Inside this area is a chest with a dragon egg. After clearing out all 5 Yetis, you are given a light gem from Bentley. He also opens the gates to continue moving forward. You didn't have to hit all 4 targets in order to keep advancing. After pushing through, you will find a light gem just sitting in front of you. After collecting it, you are ambushed by some weird skeleton wizards and skeleton guys. Right after defeating them, there's a chest in the hallway with the dragon egg in it. Keep pushing through and you'll see a breakable wall with another dragon egg inside. You then run into an area with a skeleton barrier and a Yeti inside with the light gem. You can easily just punch through the skeletons and take down the Yeti for the light gem. We then appear in a room where you have to travel on like skeleton carcasses to get to the other side. Right underneath you is a dragon egg. After cleaning this room, we get into another room quite like the one we just left. This time your timing matters much more since most of the platforms disappear after jumping on them. You can time your jumps over to the Yeti on the side with the light gem. The platforms reappear after a few seconds, so you can just jump back on and continue going through the room. At the end of this room is a dragon egg waiting for you. Right after this is another Sparks mission. Completing it twice will give you a dragon egg and a light gem. You can then head into a real big open area. On the right, you can head towards that Yeti, and you can shoot him down before arriving onto the ledge. Then you can time your jumps all the way up to the light gem. Then use the catwalk on the right side to reach the other side, where you can use your bow and arrow to shoot the target across from you. That opens the door for another light gem above the catwalk. Then at the very end, you can run into another light gem at the end of Gloomy Glacier. At this point, you should have all 8 light gems and 6 eggs. We then climb the tower to reach our good pal Spyro, who we then release and return back to using Spyro as our main playable character. We then charge inside the Ice Citadel. In the first room, there's a floating platform that we can jump on to take us up to the top. You can jump on the next set of them as well to take you to the light gem. We then run down through the path below us, and there's a furnace. By blowing fire into that furnace, that gives you another light gem. We then run back up and spray water on the wheel, and the set of doors open. We keep pushing forward to another furnace. This time it doesn't give us any light gems, sadly. We hit the target to go through the doors and push through, finding a chest with a dragon egg inside. Right ahead is a dark gem. Destroying it makes us fall through the floor right to the Elder Astor, who teaches us how to do the wall jumps. After running outside, we run into the professor, who tells us we can finally use the supercharged power-up. We bust through the strong door and go through the sewer. You then glide over to a dark gem, which opens another path through a sewer. At the very end of this sewer is a dragon egg right outside. We start pushing through the other direction and meet up with Sergeant Bird. This is probably by far my favorite speedway. It's just a ton of action. Like every other time, defeating it twice will give you a light gem and a dragon egg. Then using Supercharge, you can ram through the strong door for a dragon egg. After collecting that, you can use Supercharge again to go up to the ramp and destroy the dark gem. Right over the drawbridge that comes down after is a thief with a dragon egg. Running back down towards Sergeant Bird takes us to a target to open a room where we are met by so many enemies. After destroying them, you can light the furnace for a light gem. You can then go through the vent in the same room to another furnace, but nothing comes out of this one. You can run out of the throne room to find another dark gem. Destroying it spawns a cannon that you can use to destroy the strong doors. By flying to the most left side passage, you are met by many poles where you have to use a pole spin to go past. On the ledge is a dragon egg. Using your electric breath to power the machine, you can get to the next dark gem. This allows you to go back to the throne room to speak with the Ice Princess, who needs help turning on the heat. You have to flame all the furnaces to turn the heat back up. You then go back to the area with the cannon and go to the next passageway. This will take you to a platform that will take you to a dragon egg. You then can fly across to another light gem. Jump to your right, and this will take you to a vent that takes you to the last furnace. Flaming it will give you a light gem. You then talk to the Ice Princess, who gives you the last light gem. You can now return back to Frostbite Village. At this point, you should have collected all the dark gems, all the eggs, and all the light gems. We then return to Frostbite Village for the post-rescue portion of this. But as you're supercharging through the strong doors on the right is a door that leads to a light gem for Frostbite Village. We then use Supercharge to break down the strong door in Frostbite Village to access the remaining part of the map. This leads us to another dark gem, which spawns in another cannon to destroy the strong door. We then go through this area to where icicles are falling. If you don't time it right, you fall into the water. This part was tricky for me, but after a few times, I figured it out. On the right side is a chest with a dragon egg. On the other side is a dark gem, which destroys a big thing of ice blocking our way. We can pole spin our way up to another light gem. We return to the icy camp portion of the map where we can now use wall kick. And this leads us to another dragon egg. On the opposite side, we wall kick our way to a target that unleashes a cannon that we can use to shoot down the strong door that leads right to another dark gem. That sends down platforms we can now use to cross into finding another light gem. We then return to where the mammoth captured us for a light gem sitting there waiting for us. We then return to the main area where we should have all the eggs, light gems, and dark gems. Now that we have enough dark gems, the barrier to red has finally been opened. After the opening cutscene, it is time for our intense match. I didn't realize he could just flame his ice shots. It took me so long to figure out how to dodge them. After those, he sends in the TNT. You can use your water to push them towards him to have them detonate on him and cause damage. You do the same exact strategy for the second round, and then the third round you have to dodge him while he's shooting you with ice and then shoots out lasers that came out of nowhere. But if you have a lot of health, you can just tank one of those shots. You then repeat the process with the TNT until his health falls all the way down. Instead of being defeated, he flies away to fight another fight. He drops his scepter though, and that releases Frieza, which grants you the ability to use your ice breath. In order to escape, you have to use your ice breath on water jets to pole spin your way back to Frostbite Village. We then hop on the teleporter to take us to the last realm, Volcanic Isle. This cutscene is rather short as we just see Red fly into the volcano. The professor lets us know he plans to dig his way into Red's lair while we try to find a way through the volcano. We arrive in Stormy Beach where there isn't much, so I'm just going to skip to the location of the items. We can find a light gem on the very top of the boat. We can find a dragon egg with the thief right underneath Moneybag's shop. And by defeating Wally's mission of defending the beaches from the Norks, we get another light gem and dragon egg. We then push ahead into the caves for a dark gem that opens the way to Molten Mount. We start off in Molten Mount where we have to jump rock to rock with some Moltres type birds defending it. By spraying water on them though, they'll disappear. Also some flaming cowboys as well, spraying water on them also defeats them. We then meet Tina, who needs help defeating the rock monsters who burnt her house down, which she was laughing the whole time about it, even though it is not funny. There's 4 of them, you can push them off the ledge by charging into them. Taking all 4 down gives you a dragon egg. Right ahead is a dark gem you can destroy. This will open up a brand new passage. The new passage has a wizard that sends out 9 flaming cowboys to attack you. You can find a dragon egg during this battle. Defeating all 9 takes you to Sergeant Bird in a chest. The chest contains a light gem. This speedway has a lot of action, which is nice. Defeating it twice gives you a light gem and dragon egg. We then go back towards the passageway near Tina and do some pole spins to find another light gem. You keep advancing and jump rock to rock and dodge the flaming birds to reach a canyon where you can destroy boulders blocking your way. You can continue going straight and then take the left path. You have to pole spin and dodge flaming birds, but once you get to the final platform, the flaming cowboy wizard returns and brings 9 more cowboys out. Defeating them allows you to push through to a light gem. Going on the right passage will lead you to another dark gem. This will create a new passageway after smashing the dark gem. You then have to hit 3 targets and time it correctly to climb up the platforms to reach the light gem. You keep pushing forward to find a thief with a dragon egg. Keep progressing to find a chest with the light gem. You then find a breakable wall ahead that leads to a chest with a dragon egg. After pushing farther down, you will find a dark gem. After smashing it, you can use the wall kick to climb up the freshly created wall to find an elevator that takes you to Magma Falls. At this point, you should have found all the light gems, eggs, and dark gems. We are now in Magma Falls. This is separated in 2 parts. The top doesn't have much, so we'll speed through this one. You can find a dragon egg in a chest by the remote pad and can find the light gem by using wall kick and going over the platforms to find it. We then travel with the ball gadget. You can miss these, so you need to make sure you're careful. If you take the first right, you'll run into a dragon egg. At the 3rd checkpoint, take the right track and you will find a light gem. Then at the 4th checkpoint, you can find a light gem if you go right and a dragon egg if you go left. We then appear at Magma Falls bottom. We are greeted by flaming cowboys and we also run into a dark gem rather quickly. A little after evading the flaming birds is a chest with a light gem in it. In the next room you have to defeat 8 of the flaming cowboys. After doing so there's a light gem. The next room is the Sparks missions. This one is just purely combat in my opinion, by far my favorite. Defeating it twice gives you a light gem and a dragon egg. After that, in the next room, you can find a thief with a dragon egg. Once again, he is extremely easy to catch. After going over some hovering platforms, we are in the next area, Dark Mines. We should have all the light gems, dragon eggs, and smash all the dark gems here. We are now in Dark Mines, and immediately after entering is a secret room we can now enter. In the back of the secret room is an invincibility boost, and inside the acid is a dragon egg. If you keep swimming, you can also find a light gem in there. Heading back into the main passageway and advancing a bit, you can find a chest with a light gem. In the next room, you have to wait until the walls push out. After doing so, you can now use your wall kick ability to get to the top. You can glide over to the chest beside you, which has a dragon egg. You then reclimb the walls to fly to a hovering platform and jump over to the light gem. The next room has 4 blasters firing at you. Take them all out and smash the dark gem to open the next passageway. Through that passageway is Blink, who has the same style of missions for you. Defeating both gives you a dragon egg and a light gem. It had a lot higher level of thinking for this one, which is probably why I enjoyed this one the most. You then take an elevator down. You can jump immediately down in the next room to find a dragon egg. The next area is really glitchy for me. You have to freeze the water jets to pole spin on them. I would jump and they wouldn't register, so this part was really annoying for me. But you keep following the way for a light gem. Backtrack a little bit and you can go the other way to make it out. Then there's a room of like seesaw type of platforms. On the other side is a dragon egg. In order to make it to the other room, you have to hit the target and make it to the other side before time runs out. This wasn't super hard. The next room though is intriguing with a bunch of rotating poles. You can time your pole spins to make it to the light gem. On the other side is a dark gem. Smashing it opens up a passageway to Red's lab. We should have all the light gems, dragon eggs, and dark gems at this point. After progressing through Red's lab, we are met by Mario. He then explains how to use the orrery to unlock the doors. You can find a thief with a dragon egg just running the loop. This is the most intense action-packed segment of Spyro so far in my opinion. Through the first door is a ton of enemies and lasers. You take a platform up and pole spin your way over to a light gem. Through the next door you hit a target and have 1 minute to make it over to the dark gem. The minute is very generous since it doesn't take long to get over at all. After destroying the dark gem you can enter through the other door. Heating up the furnace allows a platform to come down so you can grab a light gem. You can then pole spin your way over to a dragon egg hidden behind lasers. You then head back to the original room and go to the next set of doors. This one has targets you need to hit to open the next door, but you can glide to the hovering platform to find a dragon egg. Through a few more doors is another hovering platform you can jump on. This one takes you over a bunch of different lasers to lead you to a light gem. The next room you have to head to the bottom to hit a target to open the dark gem. In that minute you have to climb platforms and pole spin your way back up to destroy the dark gem. After destroying it you can pole spin and glide your way to another light gem. Returning to the main area and heading through the next set of doors will lead you to platforms in your electric breath. This will elevate you to where you'll be able to hit the target and advance to the next room. Once again a ton of enemies will be spawned in here. You can then use an invincibility boost to run through lasers and wall kick your way over to a light gem. After that is a room full of lasers you have to dodge. Now all that waits is red, but let's go collect the rest of the items first. You then return to Stormy Beach to teleport back to Dragon Kingdom to return to Crocville Swamp. In Crocville Swamp you will use the supercharged feature to break open the strong door giving you a light gem. You will then teleport to the Forgotten Temple. Inside you use your electric breath to open the doors. Inside is a big open area with a thief inside. Catching it will give you a dragon egg. We then teleport to Dragonfly Falls, where you can now enter the secret door. You can find a thief running around here with a dragon egg. There's also a breakable wall towards the end where you can find a light gem in a bat infested room. We then teleport to Sunken Ruins, to the area where we previously couldn't access since we couldn't use wall kick yet. Using wall kick will get you another dragon egg. We then head to Cloudy Domain, where we use a supercharge on a strong door. Inside there's a chest with a dragon egg. We then head over to the tallest tower and wall kick our way up to find another light gem. We return to Frostbite Village, where we originally needed 95 light gems to enter the secret room. Inside we find a chest with the last dragon egg in the game, and in the very back of the secret room is a light gem for the last light gem in the game. Fast forward and we return back to the lab where we smash the last dark gem, granting us a rematch with Red. We enter the room to find the professor has been captured by Red and was forced to improve the army. Red then walks in and transforms into a machine. The professor, who thinks he is helping, then makes him gigantic. In the first round of the fight, you're just dodging his laser eyes. Rockets appear that you can light and damage him. The second round, he has rocks fall on you and sends a wave of fire towards you. You now have to dodge enemies and use your electric breath to activate the switches to electrocute him. The last round, he starts to send rockets at you that you have to dodge, and a firing squad shooting at you. Hitting the targets forces them to turn around and shoot at Red. We then see the professor shrink him and put him in a jar. After hearing this game was a sequel for Enter the Dragonfly, I was extremely nervous. I didn't think Enter the Dragonfly was that bad, but still was worried if they thought that game needed a sequel. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised with how fun this game actually was. By far the longest Spyro game I've played though. But it was extremely fun. A lot of new maps, characters, and soundtracks. Getting to play with Blink was annoying at times, but was something new. Using Hunter was extremely cool as well. It was good to see Sergeant Bird back in the game as well for the Speedways. Though it was strange to never continue the storyline with Ember, who appears to be a love interest and then you never see her again. As for Flame as well, who just disappears from the story after being freed. It was also really nice to have a villain who wasn't Ripto. I thought Red played his part well, and the return of Nasty Nork was incredible as well. Still missed using Bentley and was surprised Agent 9 was nowhere in this game as well. My overall rating for this game would be a 9.5 out of 10. I feel like I see such mixed reviews for this game, but the graphics was so clean, the gameplay was so smooth, and the soundtrack was top tier. The mix of returning characters and first-time characters was a perfect balance as well. Would have been a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't so glitchy. The next game in the series is Spyro Shadow Legacy for the DS, which I'm pretty excited for. Just have no idea how I'm going to film it yet. Be sure to look out for that gameplay. If you made it this far, please consider dropping a like, a comment on what you thought about Spyro Hero's Tale, and a sub if you enjoyed this type of content. Thanks for watching and have a great day.